Patrick.
Oh, Mr. Shatner.
I love Patrick Stewart. I love Patrick Stewart. No, you don't understand. I love Patrick Stewart. We've done a lot of stuff together over the years, and we did an award show some time ago, and we hugged. And somehow my hand crept down, and I pinched him on the ass, and I believe you said thank you very much.
And then I reported you for elder abuse. Let me just get my word in too quickly and say that I love Bill Shatner. This guy has been such an extraordinary friend to me, to the next generation, and a supporter of things that I have supported and done, and I count him among the most precious and valuable things in my life.
We could leave on that note and have goodwill.
We could leave on that note, but personally, I would like to stay, and as a visitor to your fair country
And city.
We'll get to you in a moment. By the way, I learned something yesterday about William Shatner that I did not know before, and he has kept undercover in all the years that I've known him, that he speaks very passable French. And with a very, very fine accent.
I have 7 words, and I use them constantly. Je parle pas français maintenant parce que mon vocabulaire est tout de partout. And that's the limit of my French. It sounds like I've said something really intelligible, but it's not.
You are, in this instance, and very rarely, but in this instance, too modest.
How awful of you to say that. Anyway, shall we answer some questions?
Yeah, and I think we have to hand ourselves over for a moment to our moderator.
Thank you. I understand the two of you were actually, get this, in a horse-drawn carriage in the streets of Montreal. Is this true?
We were in a caleche.
A caleche, even.
Patrick Stewart, his fiancée, my wife Elizabeth, and I, in a caleche, going around Montreal. Now listen, Montreal was my home city. I was here long before any of you were. I'm serious. There's nobody older than I am in this room. Okay? I was born on Giroir. I was brought up.
I thought you were born in September.
I was brought up in Marseille in Montreal. I came to flourish at Montclair and Giroir. Very short. I went to school at McGill, not far from here. I grew up in this city. I left when I was 21. I played for years, 3 years, at the Mountain Playhouse on the. I couldn't get around this city if my life depended on it. My wife and I came in on a rental car last night. Okay, you need to fill up the gasoline tank in a rental car. We were down in downtown Montreal. There are no gas stations there. I had to circle around to try and find. I went in a circle, an ever increasing circle to try and find a gas station. I ended up at Marseille and Giroir. I swear to God, we were there where I was pointing out to my wife, oh, I was born there. Where the hell is a gas station? I finally found one on the carry.
You know, there's much about that anecdote that I find fascinating, but for me, the most interesting tidbit of information, and I wonder if you feel the same way, is that you are one of those people who fill up the tank of your car, your rental car, before you return it.
Well, you understand they charge you vast amounts of money to fill up that.
Bill, you can afford it.
But you don't understand. That's Canadian dollars.
And you want to support the local economy.
Yes, I do, but you know, as we passed by in the Calèche, we saw in downtown, in the old town of Montreal, we saw some of the great art galleries, museums, great fashions with women and men's fashion, great restaurant. This city has become a mecca for international travel. This is a destination city. This is one of the great cities of the world. I hope Montreal is not.
That message was brought to you by the Montreal Tourist Board. Do you have a deal with them, Bill? Come on, tell me.
No, I don't, but I hope that speech brings it about. I hope they're bidding right now. No, it's true, it's a great city.
This is your first time, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
This is my first time in Montreal. I have always wanted to visit because everyone said to me, everything that you thought you knew about Canada, you must erase when you go to Montreal.
Well, thank God you're not bidding for the job of...
But I am bidding for the job.
In a negative way, you're approaching it backwards, right?
And what I have seen, and it has been precious little. Indeed, if Bill had not taken us on this pony and trap ride yesterday... Calèche. I'd never heard that word before. Then I would have seen nothing of Montreal. Thank you very much. And
Except the inside of your hotel room.
the inside of my hotel room and the inside of the car.
Yes, made in Oshawa.
What was?
See? If you're going to be a spokesman for Quebec or Ontario, where Oshawa is, then Oshawa is where they assemble the car you drove in.
Really?
Or did. I think they're closing everything down.
But I'm so sorry. I think you were rude. You were rude.
I'm just so honored to be up here with the two of you. So I'm just happy to be up here and watching you guys.
I would take a rain check on that remark if I were you. See how you feel an hour from now. No, this is my first visit. Everything that I have seen and experienced, I have enjoyed. It is a beautiful city, and I am so happy to be here. And wish I did not have to get on a plane and return to London tomorrow night, but I do.
I agree, it's an awe, but he was telling me where he's going, and he has my envy. I grew up not racing motorcycles in Montreal, but having motorcycles and going very fast on motorcycles. And when I got a little $400 car, a Morris Minor, I pushed that thing as fast as it would go. And I read with great fervor, assiduously, all the car magazines I could find, and I learned about Sterling Moss, and what was Fangio's first name? Juan. Unbelievable, somebody down front would know Juan. Maybe she said why. And I thought, Juan Fangio and Sterling Moss were heroes in my eyes. There were some Americans too, whose names I can't quite remember, who were the competitors, but not quite as good. Graham Hill.
Yeah.
So I grew up on fast cars and motorcycles and fast women. But that doesn't apply to Patrick, to where he's going. At least that's not what he told me. He's going to make a a small film,
A documentary.
a documentary with Sterling Moss. There's 3 people know who I'm talking about. Sterling Moss is a legendary driver, and when Patrick told me, I said, he's the guy who used to break all the cars. And then you told me.
Well, yeah, he had a reputation, and I've seen him in research that I've been doing, admitting this on television. He had a reputation as a car breaker. I mean, not that he had crashes, although, my word, he did have several spectacular ones, but gearboxes would break down, engines would blow up, wheels would fly off his cars. But I understand that he was not a car breaker. In fact, the problem with Sir Sterling was that he tried to save the engines of the cars that he was driving, and in attempting to save them, i.e. keeping the revs in each gear ratio down, he was actually doing harm to the engines, and he didn't know it because nobody had told him. Kind of charming, isn't it?
It's charming, and what was so wonderful for me in my adoration of you was to hear your enthusiasm about motor racing and fast cars as well, and so we had that something else in common.
Yes, and who knew, except you had preceded me in the Long Beach Pro Celebrity Grand Prix by 1 year.
That's right, I preceded you to drive in many Grand Prix, Long Beach being one, and we got this instruction, unbeknownst until this afternoon, from the same guy. I was in the Long Beach Grand Prix in a car that was jacked up to be fast, and we got this instruction from Danny something or other. So Danny would say to me, now listen, or to the class, now listen everybody. Here are the flags. There's a red flag, you stop. There's a yellow flag. Yellow flag is caution, everybody. Listen to me very carefully. Listen to what I'm telling you. A yellow flag is caution. That means you slow down and you do not pass it. Are you ready? Are you listening to me? Yes, Danny, I'm listening. Yellow flag, do not get out of your car. Do not get out of your car. Let the other cars go by. You stay in your car. Very dangerous. So I started the race. I was racing. I was going along. And I did a Sterling Moss. Crash! Bang! Crash! The motor blew up. I'm staying in my car. The yellow flag is out. There's smoke all around me. I'm staying in my car. I can see people out there through the noise. I'm staying in my car. It's okay, I'm staying in the car. Don't worry, I'm staying in the car. What? What are you saying? I'm staying. What? The car's on fire. The car's on fire. I got out of the car.
Well, it's a wonderful story. The following year, when I was a driver, they showed us footage of Mr. Shatner. And this fell into the category of, here are things you do not want to do. Okay, I'm going to test you, Bill. What is the flag for oil or debris on the racetrack?
Black flag. Black flag. No? Oh. I thought if I said it with enough enthusiasm, you'd doubt yourself.
And they were convinced, but I know you too well. Listen, should we let these guys have a go, or should we not? Maybe we'll just go on talking.
They're going to ask you, what's your favorite episode? What's your favorite episode?
No, they're not. I have a feeling about this one. They are not going to ask that.
They're going to ask you about your favorite episode. What's the first question?
What we can do is, are there microphones that we have in the audience?
Right here.
People? Yeah, there we go. There's a question right there in the darkness there.
I thought we were going to have a light on the questions.
Here it comes. What's your favorite episode?
The light is coming.
Yes! Look at that. They said there would be light, and there is light.
If you don't say what's
And
your
I saw that light was good.
If you don't say what's your favorite episode, I'll never allow you in this hall again.
Well, first off, I want to say it's an honor to be in the same room as both of you. I think I haven't been, to be honest, a Star Trek fan for so long. I'm pretty much a recent fan, but having gone through every episode, my favorite one has to be from the original series. This will be the last Battlefield.
No, you're supposed to ask us what our...
I'm not too grand,
Oh, what the hell?
I was getting there. My question to both of you is, out of all 5 series, including your own, which one was your favorite episode?
All right.
Oh, God.
What's your favorite episode?
Of your series or mine?
What was your favorite episode of your series?
My favorite episode of my series was an episode called Inner Light. Which has a little story attached to it because it was the only spec script. Do you know what a spec script is? No. Some do, some don't. A spec script is a script that is sent in by somebody in the hopes that somebody might want to produce it. It's not a writer who is invited to write. It's just somebody having a shot at getting an episode made.
Speculation.
Speculation, yeah, that's right. And it was one of the best screenplays that we had ever been sent. And it was the only episode to win any kind of creative award. It got a blue ribbon from the DGA, I think. And
Isn't that the meatpacking organization?
it is. Yeah, in the case of myself and my fellow actors, very appropriate too. And also because my son, who is here with me all day today and will be here tomorrow signing and doing photo ops, he was in that episode with
And
me.
he was wonderful.
He was wonderful, yeah. And two, or should I say two? Toi.
I hate that question. What's your favorite episode? I don't even remember what the... What's the show again? Oh yeah, Star Trek. Well, you know, there were several episodes that were lauded. We never won a blue ribbon from a meatpacking organization. But there was a show called City Across the River. And the premise was the eternal concept of going back in time, which is if you go back in time and alter something, then you've altered everything about the future. A butterfly's wings. So if you push some dirt over, you've altered the future.
We did that episode too. Several times.
It's funny because I was going to say it at exactly the same moment you said several times. Our comedic timing was exactly the same. But you were there first. I don't know how that happened.
Well, it just shows that our instincts are very similar.
Are carefully honed.
Yeah.
So City Across the River was going back in time and not altering the future by saving somebody I'd fallen in love with. It's actually a poignant idea. Poignant.
Yeah, but overworked.
But understated.
But overworked. Now, listen, I want to know from this gentleman here, if that really was your question, or whether you were just buttering up. to give him what he wanted. Do you have a real question?
Well, yeah, I do. If you give me the opportunity, I have another question.
Give you the opportunity?
Said in such an old coward. Give you the opportunity. You say you don't have the opportunity. Take the opportunity and run with it, my boy.
Well, in that case, the other question that was really in my mind was, if you had the chance to rewrite any episode that you played in, or any of the movies that you starred in, which one would it be and why?
And differently, you were saying?
If you had the chance to rewrite any of the episodes that you played in, or the movies that you played in, which one would it be and for what reason?
Did you understand that question? Let's make up our own question. Let's pretend he said, of any episode or movie, how would you rewrite the ending if you could?
That's pretty much what I asked.
Is that what you said?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, okay.
I think I would like to answer the question, how did you feel when you were first cast as Jean-Luc Picard? That's the question.
That's the question you want?
I really want that question.
Ask him that question.
How did you feel when you were first cast in the role of Jean-Luc Picard?
It's strange, Patrick, because right now, as you know from my dunning you, I'm making a documentary on the next generation. And one of the questions that is being talked about by all the producers and directors is the casting of Patrick Stewart as the captain. And I want you on camera, as you know from many crying requests, many tearful requests on my part, of what you felt like when you were first. So in the reality of the moment, let me, as your peer, say to you, you were in UCLA, either acting or teaching something Shakespearean. And Bob Justman, one of the producers of Star Trek, who was one of the producers on the Star Trek I did, became one of the producers on the Star Trek he did, heard his voice, Bob did, and went back to the studio and said, I think I found the guy we're looking for, Patrick Stewart, because of the voice and the enunciation. And eventually, everybody came around to thinking that. What did you think when you were told Captain Picard of Star Trek? What are you talking about? I play Macbeth.
Bill, you have phrased that question so fabulously, so beautifully, interestingly, and humorously, but it is still the same question! In essence, your story is right. That is how it happened. There are details I could tweak, but I think they should not be tweaked here. They should be tweaked in front of your camera when you're filming the documentary.
Exactly. This is not a tweaking crowd. They want a straightforward message. How the frigging hell did you feel when you were told, Captain, what?
Okay, I will make this very brief. My agent was called in fact, I was still on the Paramount lot. And my agent was called at home and told, it's Patrick, we want him. And this was before the days of cell phones, of course. And I had driven myself to a favorite coffee shop I knew in Los Angeles, which was near a newspaper stand that sold all the English newspapers. I'd been in LA for a few days, and I'm a newspaper freak, fanatic. So I bought all the newspapers, I ordered a big California breakfast, and bought a coffee, and I sat there for about 2.5 hours while my agent tried to find me. And I won't go into all the details. This is a long and lovely story.
I want to hear it in due time.
Yeah, not right now. I think it is too long. Yeah, but I was eventually going to go to the hotel where a colleague of mine, an English professor from UCSB, was staying. And they said, yeah, go up to his room, gave me the number of his room. I went up, knocked on the door. He opened the door, and as he opened it, his phone rang in the room, and he said, oh, darn, let me just get... And he picked it up and said, yes. And then he actually said the classic line, it's for you. And that's when I was told, you got the job.
How did you feel about it?
I was very shocked because throughout the whole process, which lasted nearly 6 months of auditioning and interviewing, I had never for one moment believed that it would come about. So I was shocked. I think my knees shook a little, and that's been a long time since that happened to me. And I didn't know what to say. I was just...
Yes or no?
Well, my agent said, I think we should have lunch tomorrow and talk about this, and we did. Thank you!
But because I know you, I know that you went through some heartfelt emotions which involve London, theater, friends. I mean, you were coming to this strange land alone and with a part that you didn't know whether you fitted or not.
In the kind of job I had never done before. I had never been in serious television in my life. And so I will tell you one little, and this is kind of, it's public knowledge. I did know a few people in Hollywood. I knew a couple of writers, I knew a director in English, very successful film director. And I was given until lunchtime Friday to give them a decision. I was given 4 days. And I went around and I saw each one of these people. And I said to them, what shall I do? You know my career, my life. I've been offered this. What should I do? Every one of them said, take the job. Because you won't make it through the first season. Everybody knows there is going to be a revival of Star Trek, and everybody knows it's doomed to fail. So take the job, make a little money for the first time in your life, get a suntan, meet some girls, go home.
Now, I've been through that process as well over the years, and I'm finding it hard to come to grips with a guy who flies from, because you didn't fly from London to do the audition, did you? All right, so you fly from London to do the audition. You audition 3 times. You're there for 6 months pondering, and then they say, we want you, and then you go, I don't know whether I want you or not. What was that all about?
You know, I like the trips to Los Angeles. Paramount Pictures paid for them. Coach class, as I recall.
Really?
I think so.
Come on, coach class
I think
from London to Los Angeles?
Maybe it was business class, or maybe it was premium coach.
But could you lie down?
There wasn't any lying down in those days, I don't think.
No. There was lying down. You were just a starving actor. You never knew that there was lying down.
Well, what was it all about? I had a year or 2 of work mapped out for me in the theatre in London. That was the main problem. And I just went along with this because I thought it was fun. And it gave my kids the opportunity to make lots of jokes about pointy ears and beam me up Scotty and all of that, you know. They thought it was funny. And they were, I think, even more shocked than I was when I was offered the job.
Wow.
But there will be more of this anon.
Anon.
Anon, yeah.
When?
Whenever you make the call.
Really?
Yeah. And I know there are witnesses, and you will.
There are witnesses. The reason we're kidding around is because I've got this wonderful documentary on the fermentation of what happened on The Next Generation. I mean, horrible things happened in the first 2 years that I've documented already because I've got a little money to see if there was a story. And I'm discovering this incredible story of volatile things that happened in the concept and the execution of The Next Generation, including all the casting. And it's an incredible story. And I've had to do it with the management because none of the actors will talk to me. And they're all buddies of mine, and especially him. And I go, please, no. We've talked on the DVD, and that's enough. I'm sick and tired of just talk. No. Now he's beginning to change his tune. Because I got the head of the studio saying I had lunch with him. And he earlier told me, I never had lunch with him. See, the plot thickens.
Well, listen, the truth is the rest of the cast of Next Generation are waiting for me to make a decision, and then they will follow suit.
So let me say once again, I love Patrick Stewart.
How I love hearing you say that. I do.
Next question.
You know, our friend is gone.
The guy who asked
the question.
Your favorite episode.
He just walked away.
You told him your favorite episode.
Actually got beamed up.
Oh, and here's the next one.
Okay. What's the next question?
Yeah, Hi, Bill, we talked before.
Indeed, I recognize the hair.
Yeah, gentlemen, thank you very much for coming up. But I'm here for selfless reasons right now. You see, a friend of mine who just moved here, all from Ireland, she's been in Canada 2 weeks, heard you guys were here. She's a student, doesn't have much money, but she pulled her friends together to take a picture of you guys today. And unfortunately, someone gave her the wrong signal, and out of everyone in the group, including you handsome, leading men and her friends, she has the most unfavorable expression on her face, unfortunately.
Was it one of happiness?
It was kind of like smell the fart face. It was pretty Hey, MJ, are you here?
So,
gentlemen,
what are you getting at?
Would you do my Irish?
Would I try to make her expression more pleasant? Is that
Would you do us in Montreal the unbelievably amazing favor of autographing my homegirl's horrible picture to make her day a lot
I'll
less?
tell you what we will do. If she can, have her come back tomorrow. We're doing photo op tomorrow.
No, I'm on an airplane very early in the morning. I'm heading home. I'm going home. No, I got to get a rental car and try and find a gasoline station.
You're not here tomorrow.
I'm not here tomorrow. I've come in.
Did you all know that?
No. Everybody knows.
Bill,
Everybody,
you are home.
you know, in the audience right now, my two sisters who live here, some of my family, we've got an extended family, Shatners and all the other relations. My father had 9 or 11 brothers and sisters. I mean, it was extended, and all of them had large families. It metastasized. We actually live in all of East Montreal are relatives of mine. And some bled over to West Montreal, and we just most of the city is named Shatner.
I got to tell you, we had dinner together last night, and throughout dinner, there was pretty much a stream of people who kept coming up to the table. They had nothing to say to me or to Brent Spiner, but they'd say, "Hi, Bill, how good to see you. I knew your Auntie Louise." Oh, God, that you were this high.
And they were all talking like that because they couldn't hear. And I knew you when you were young.
And he smiled and nodded and said,
Oh, how are you? It's good to see you.
"Of course I remember."
And then I'd say, who was that?
It was charming. It was really charming. Okay, what can we do for your friend? Yes.
Well, you can either sign a picture saying you're beautiful no matter what face you're making, or she could have a nice photograph with a beautiful
Bring the
Stewart.
picture up.
Bring this picture up?
Bring the picture up in a pen.
All right.
And do it.
Good evening. I came from Colombia, and for me, it's like a dream come true to be here in ComicCon and meet you guys, because I have seen all the episodes of the Star Trek in Espanol, in English, in another language. But my question is, with all your experience in the Star Trek, do you want to be in another TV show, like sci-fi, or perhaps another Star Trek spinoff?
Do we want to be in a spin-off of Star Trek? I wouldn't mind being in a J.J. Abrams movie of Star Trek. Yeah, I mean, J.J.'s making them, he's on his second one now?
I think they've been making two back-to-back. A second and a third.
Really?
That's what I understand.
I didn't hear that. That guy Pine is making a fortune. Somebody down front said it's worth it. Two of us are up here and you tell us that an actor filming right now in a J.J. Abrams Star Trek is worth it. It's so hostile.
Actually, what she keeps repeating, Bill,
He's gorgeous, I heard him. I wanted to pretend I didn't hear it. I interviewed him. He's a sweet guy. He's a wonderful actor.
Yeah. Here. I love that movie.
And you know what? He is gorgeous.
You're gorgeous too, Bill.
For an older man, I too am gorgeous. Okay. Yes, we would like to be in a spin-off of Star Trek. Guided by J.J. Abrams, so it'd be sort of mysterious. Like it would have no ending. Like you die, but you don't die.
Here's a thought. Maybe Captain Kirk and Jean-Luc Picard could go back in time. What do you
I
think?
know, but you can't change your face, and I can't change my body. Now, here's what I would like to talk about. Right for the moment. We're going to do a spin. Okay. There was a series of precious moments. One I'm thinking, maybe you're thinking of a different one. So let's compare notes. You and I did Star Trek 6 together. You and I did Star Trek 7 together. I did Star Trek 6 alone, okay? What do you remember most about Star Trek 7 in our work together?
I remember most vividly the day that we shot your first scene in the movie, at least the scene that I was in, when we were up on the high up on the flanks of Mount Whitney, and you were chopping wood, and I had to make an entrance, and what I think you were unaware of was the sense of an event that was being experienced by all the crew and all the technicians and everybody on that set, because, well, yes, they were going to see the two captains in a movie scene together, but they were aware that seeing you on camera in that situation was an extraordinary moment in movie history, and people were so excited about it.
Really?
Yeah.
So, well, here's what I remember. I get to know Patrick, I've admired him a long time, and we get to know each other. And actors doing scenes together, if the actors like each other, it's really intimate, and there can be an experience, can be a bonding that takes place, which it did with us. So there came a moment when horses were introduced. The writer knew my passion for horses and my long time training at competing with horses, and I brought in my own horse for the scene, and they got a movie horse for Patrick, and Patrick hadn't been on horseback. Is that correct?
Oh no, I had actually ridden quite a lot.
But didn't look like it.
I had a really bad horse.
So he said
it wasn't my own horse.
So I said to Patrick, I know, but it was your airplane that we flew in, wasn't it?
Oh yes, it was. Yeah.
So I say to Patrick, I've done 25-mile endurance races, and I know that being on a horse all day, let alone days to come, we're going to chafe. And what people do, what I've done, is wear women's lingerie on the inside so that you don't chafe after hours and hours of riding on it. He said, women's lingerie? Oh, I understand. And we were given women's lingerie. And he comes out of this trailer with the women's lingerie over his head. No, Patrick. Underneath the uniform. That's my favorite memory.
You guys, should you ever find yourself watching Star Trek Generations again, just do keep in mind that those two heroic individuals, Captain Kirk and Captain Picard, when they are on horseback, are indeed wearing women's lingerie. Underneath.
But no bra. Shall we take another question?
Go for it.
I'm just wondering, out of all the roles that you've played, what was the toughest scene for either one of you to play?
Well, looking at him with lingerie on was very What about you?
Are we talking movies, television, theater, anything, or narrow the field a little if you can?
Okay, for you, theater, and for Bill, TV.
Theater, TV. Toughest. In my first season with the Royal Shakespeare Company in 1966, a season that was shared by a then utterly unknown actor who was a spear carrier called Malcolm McDowell. Who within 18 months had become an international movie star. I had to make an entrance following a magnificent scene, magnificently written, the great scene between King Henry IV and his son Prince Hal, played by the wonderful Tony Church and the equally magnificent Ian Holm. And at the end of this great scene, full of emotions and power and fantastic verse, I had to come on as the character of Sir Walter Blunt and respond to the question from the king, "How now, Sir Walter, thy looks are full of speed." You follow it?
I follow that. I'm high on speed. I got it.
What is thy news? And then I made this speech about the Earl of Worcester and Suffolk and Salisbury and Gloucester and all this long, long speech. And it was a silly speech, and it was not well written. I'm sorry, Bill, but and then there was a pause, and Tony Church's Henry IV had to say to me, "This news is 5 days old." How do you react to a line like that?
How do you react to that?
Yours. Wonderful Ian Holm, when he heard this remark, that he was 5 days old, would go. It was beautiful, but that was a tough moment.
Well, I'll take it as a stage, because the thing that comes to mind immediately is I did a one-man show, came through Toronto, came through Montreal actually, and but I had started that one-man show on Broadway in New York, and I had done it in Australia and in Canada, but I rewrote it and devised it almost completely for Broadway. And then I opened on Broadway with one preview, but really not. And so essentially, I opened in New York in a one-man show to sold-out audience, New York critics, and I'm up there for the first time, okay? And I get the stomach flu the night before. So that day, I'm 3 feet from the bathroom. And when I go to the theater that afternoon for a sound check, I'm 2 feet from the bathroom, which is 1.5 feet too far. I'm running back and forth and running back and forth. I don't know if any of you have ever had this thing, but there's no control whatsoever. Okay? So, I accept it as a challenge, and I go on to an opening in New York, and I do it. I get through the performance, and I get nice praise, and people come, and people stand up, and it was all wonderful. Second night, flu's just as bad. I'm losing a lot of fluids, and my kidneys are shutting down, but I'm still accepting it as a challenge. I'm in the middle of an anecdote in the one-man show, and I realize I need to go to the toilet now. In fact, it's too late. On Broadway, in a one-man show. That scene was very difficult.
Understatement.
Too much information today. So is everybody else, actually.
I wonder if you know what the procedure is in circumstances like that. I don't know what emergency procedure you had set up, but I have been several times in productions where somebody has had bowel problems and also nausea problems, vomiting. And it's very, very simple. There's a bucket on either side. And I
thought that was for fire.
It could be backup. That's an unfortunate word. I mean, I have seen actors and on one occasion an actress squatting over a bucket.
Really? Yeah.
But maybe that's just in England where
No shame.
and no toilets.
Oh, they don't flush and they pull a chain or whatever in England.
Well, my question is for Mr. Stewart, actually.
Okay, let's get away from that subject.
Mr.
Can
Stewart,
we just have some ground rules here? I know we don't have much longer to go, but if anyone asks a question of one of us, that the other one of us has a right to respond as well. Is that a deal?
That's a deal. What is the feedback we're getting here from this?
I'm not sure. My question is for Mr. Stewart, actually. I was hoping that you could tell me who is your greatest nemesis in Star Trek?
Captain, time is the fire in which we burn.
I've never heard so much laughter. Malcolm McDowell.
This guy killed me. This man has shot me.
Well, let's face it.
Yeah, and you know, I thought it was very naff, to use a good English word, of Rick Berman to give you such a miserable death. I mean, they should have sent you out in a glorious exit.
I know, with trumpets and timpanis.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. No, they had you shoot me in the behind. In the back, somewhere. I think you were supposed to shoot me in the ass, and you got me in the back.
Well, whatever it was, I do remember, though, one of the false endings, we had to do a fisticuff, and you went this way instead of that way and ended up there. I do apologize for that.
Supposed to go this way.
No,
and
no.
you were supposed to.
He is still saying it's my fault.
But the truth of the matter is, when they saw the first ending, they said it is not large enough, so we had to come back, if you recall, to the Valley of Death, or Fire, the Valley of Fire in Nevada. That's where we shot that scene.
That's right.
And it was duly named, by the way. It was so hot.
Only part way.
Yeah, but it was sort of fun. Wasn't it?
It's
all right, sit down.
No.
Well, I will. Thank you. Have you got a cup of tea or something? Let's see what I can do.
You know,
What? We've known each other since 1965. Is it? Oh, right.
Look at you. It's 1 year.
God almighty. He's counting.
50 years, man.
46 years.
Wow.
Wow. Look at us. We're okay, aren't we?
We are indeed.
Nobody will ever forget.
Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange.
Yes. Well, thank God for it, is all I can say.
That movie.
Thank God for it. Yeah, thank God for Stanley Kubrick. You know. Bless him. Lindsay Anderson, as you know, Patrick, was a genius. He was. Yeah. Anyway, listen, I don't want to completely...
You put a whole...
No, you sit down,
If you're having
Patrick.
such a good time, you
Jesus, what is this? You passing a hat out? It's very nice. It's very becoming of you. Yeah, thank you very much. I will take it. Thank you. Anyway, listen, guys, you're here tomorrow, are you?
Well, I've just learned I am, but this gentleman here...
No, he never stays. He'll be out of here. First play.
They find me out and I have to get out of town.
Well, listen, if you're going tomorrow, I'm off to see a play, so I'll give you a... I'm off to see these guys who are twins that do Bette Midler and, you know, Elton John and...
Why are we being sent there? We were asked to go yesterday.
Why?
Who's got an interest in that needs to...
I think it's somebody in your part. I'm going to leave, and yours, not mine. But anyway, I was thrilled. I got the first half last night, and it was fantastic. So you should go. You should go see it. Go buy a ticket and go see these guys. What are they called?
Edward Brothers.
Yeah, thank
Edward
you.
Brothers.
The twins. They're twins.
Edward twins.
The Edward twins.
Yeah. They're amazing. They're amazing. So I'm going to catch the second half at 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'm going there now. So listen, I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see you
shortly.
Anon. Bless you, my friend.
Another Anon.
Thanks for your visit.
Do we have time for one more or two more from the crowd?
We got several minutes.
Shout it out.
But now
The microphone is coming. Anon.
So we've had a quarter or almost half a century of Star Trek, and my question for the two of you is, with the 5 series, there's never been an openly gay character, and I'm just curious to know, was it ever talked about? Was it ever...
No, it's never been contemplated. What are you talking about?
You're talking about Voyager and DS9, no?
I'm sorry, sir, but you are wrong. There was an episode of Next Generation.
I know which one you're thinking of.
Not on our show. Never. Never thought about it. Never contemplated it. Never even sketched it.
Different times.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, if you have a gift for us in that carrier bag, I just didn't want you to forget and feel bad about it later on that you hadn't given it to us.
It's a Wonder Woman mug. If you want it, you can have it.
It's a Wonder Woman mug.
It most certainly is.
Yeah.
That's an interesting gift for a gay man to have.
On the contrary, you know, just think about it.
What do I know? I come from the antediluvian times.
Did you actually ask a question? I can't remember now.
Yes. Why aren't there gay men in Star Trek?
Well, I cannot recall the name of the episode, but I bet there's someone here who can.
What about Data?
How about gay Data?
I don't care. Fully functional. That's it. That's all we need to know. He has 3 speeds. Brent's joke. I have used it here.
We're seeing how badly you feel.
Yeah. I'll be seeing him shortly, and I'll apologize.
You'll feel a lot worse.
Yeah. Yes, look, there. A lovely person.
My question is for Mr. Stewart. Patrick, I love you. First of all. I have since I was very young. Bill, I love you as well. But Mr. Stewart, my question for you, my favorite Shakespearean character is Macbeth, and I would like to know what your favorite line from Macbeth is, and if you could recite it for me, please.
I'm sure it's all right.
I would go for...
Mrs.
I would go for tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
On that wonderful, glorious note, it is time. Anon has come.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
And we shall say goodbye. Or shall we say aww?
I am looking at your, let me say, magnificent wristwatch.
Yeah.
And I see
we're looking at my magnificent thigh.
that too. It was the way the wristwatch was cradled against your...
The ropey, sinewy thigh.
But I see by your wristwatch we have 2 more minutes to go.
Well, so, let's take another question.
I'm just saying this could be a question just for Mr. Shatner. I haven't really seen The Next Generation. No offense to Mr. Stewart. No offense, Mr. Stewart, just saying. Did you ever count, in all the episodes, how many girls you supposedly kissed during...
So many, I was so young and there were so many girls. And I was...
And it was a different time period.
In the 100,000 years that man has lived, not much has changed, you know what I mean? In 50 years, there were a lot of girls and beautiful women who, many of them have aged gracefully and have remained friends. Not really. My wife is right here. A lot of girls, but it was all play, okay? It's all make-believe. We live in a make-believe world. We spin our tales, and it signifies nothing. It is but a dream.
Thank you.
What do you think?
I think we should get off while we're on top. No, let me rephrase it.
Well, there is a Shakespeare character called Bottom.
Don't go there.
Don't go there. Our friend over here would be very happy if you went there. Patrick,
Bill,
we've done this on rarely what you and I have done this evening. We should do it more often.
I agree. I could not agree more.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Shatner, Captain Kirk.
Thank you, everybody.